Hey guys, welcome back. So we got a package in today I'm pretty excited about. I thought I'd go over what's in here, and it's going to springboard us out into the garden. I'm going to kind of show you what we're doing. We got a lot of tired looking plants, so we're going to start to pull. We did quite a bit of harvesting today, and we still have a lot more to come. So we're going to open the package, I'll show you what we got, and then we're going to move outside and I'm going to start doing some clearing. So this is what we got from MI Gardener. All the seeds. Now all of these seeds were got just because I wanted to get these, the mustard greens. We got this because we want to try to get these out there today. What ends up happening is they're very cold tolerant, so they're good for full to part sun. They germinate in 4 to 10 days and reach maturity of 45 to 55 days. That is full maturity plant. That's 8 to 12 inches in height. We are going to start harvesting this as like a baby green, and that's going to be 3 to 6 inches, and that should take a little bit, significantly less time. So we're going to get these out here. They're cold tolerant, so we can start harvesting these into October. I'll kind of go over everything we have here. Now everything else is going to be for next year, and this isn't it. This is what they had available right now. There are a few things that I have saved that once it becomes available, I'm going to start to pick up. But some of the things that really jumped out at me that we picked up are going to be things that I thought my son would really like. Since he's into dinosaurs, we have our dinosaur kale. This is really nice. Once we start getting into this next year and start planting it, I'm just going to kind of go over what we picked out. We got our mammoth basil as well. This really jumped at me when people started to say that you could put this onto a sandwich. The actual leaves are about the size of a lettuce leaf. So that was just something I thought was unique, and I thought we'd give it a shot. We have some onions. We didn't plant any onions this year, so I thought I'd do that. And I just wanted to try to get some better seeds. So we got our cantaloupe, we got a Dixie Queen watermelon, and this one really jumped out at me. This is a Tigger melon. I know with the boys, they love picking, going through the garden. I thought they would really get a kick out of this, not just the name, but the color. And it's supposed to be very sweet and creamy, very small seeds, so those are easy to take out. And you should get 20 or more seeds out of this, or 20 or more cantaloupe out of this, and that are about a pound. And they have a flavor of like banana, lemon, and cantaloupe. So it's a fun, easy plant to grow, and the kids should really get a kick out of this. We move on to our squashes, delicata squashes. I did pull some of these earlier in the year, but I think I pulled them a little too early, so they were real small. They still tasted great, but I thought I'd try to grow a few more of those, and then some pumpkins for next year. We'll get those into the ground next year. Then we have some peppers, some sweet peppers. It's a Sunbright bell pepper. We'll put that into the garden next year. Now we have been pickling a lot of cucumbers, but I thought I'd go with a variety. This is the National Pickling Cucumber. This will actually get to the variety of 5 to 7 inches and will be perfect for pickling and perfect for those quart jars. So I've picked this up. We've got some of our bull's blood beets, more Black Beauty eggplants, which we're harvesting a lot of. We do enjoy edamame, so I thought I'd get some of our own. We'll start growing our own and being able to steam those for us to eat. And this year, when I planted the beans, I didn't anticipate them to be bush beans because I didn't read or think when I planted them. And I was hoping for pole beans. So I picked up the Blue Lake pole beans to replace the bush beans, Blue Lake bush beans I had planted. And what we'll do is those will be able to run a trellis. So we'll plant these next year, but we'll still plant the bush beans as well. So we have a very high bean content or high bean harvest next year. Now we're going to be getting into some of the tomatoes I picked up. These are very interesting. This isn't all of them. I know this year our tomato yield has been mostly cherry tomatoes, which isn't been great for making sauce or salsa or anything like that. It's just been great for snacking. And since that's been the majority of what we have out there, I haven't been able to do much of the canning. So this next year, what I plan on doing is doing more of the varieties that I can make salsa, make pasta sauce, anything out of that will basically allow us to start to can and be able to save our stuff for the year. So first up, we have our blueberry tomatoes. This is just an interesting variety that really jumped out at me because of the bicolor of the purple and red. It's got a darker foliage. This is an intermediate, and it can grow in excess of 6 feet tall, and it has the purple leaf and the bicolor plant. And it is good for salsa, salads, and fresh eating, so this should be a good one. Next up is our Black Seaman tomatoes. This is a great overall tomato. It's a determinant. You'll be able to harvest this all year, and it has hints of flavor of pineapple and tropical fruit. It's got a low seed count and jelly count. That's what makes it such a great all-purpose, so you can use it in just about everything. It is an heirloom variety from Ukraine. Next up are our Sweetie tomatoes. These are going to be a cherry tomato variety that are indeterminate, so this will be great for containers or just having for Griffin's garden for them to snack on. Next up is our Merglobe tomato. This one is a determinant. It is a heirloom variety. It has high flavor, yields a high, smaller beefsteak style tomatoes that are great. They're right about a pound in size, and they're disease and crack resistant. So these will be great for spaghetti, making our sauces, our soup, our paste, and salsas as well. And the last one, this one just jumped out at me. I couldn't help myself but get it. It's called the Mortgage Lifter. Now it's an indeterminate. These are a bit excessive in size to get to be over 2 pounds. They're a mammoth tomato that packs a lot of flavor. They're rich and juicy. Tastes are a little bit acidic and fruity sweetness. They're great for all uses, so we can use this for everything to up into including slicing. And what's nice is they're about the size of a salad plate in diameter. So if you figure they're going to be about that big around at 2 pounds. This one's going to be a fun one. I can't wait to grow this and see what we can get out of it and what we can use with it. And that's just what we've picked up so far. This is not by far not the end. We do have a couple other varieties and things that we want to pick up. Plus we have a lot of seeds downstairs. So over the summer, or over the winter, we'll kind of make a determination of what we want to get planted in the garden, how much is what we want to grow. We did learn a lot this year, and I'll do kind of an explanation of my end of year wrap up with the garden, what I feel that worked and what I didn't, and what we're going to do next year, and kind of hints and tricks that I believe that'll be helpful for everybody. But that'll be an upcoming video. So what we're going to finish out today is get the mustard greens into the ground. We've got a few things we need to pull out, get everything organized, and get the soil turned over and kind of get it prepared and get this into the ground. So we're going to head outside and get this started. All right, and this is one of the areas we're going to start planting our mustard greens. These are our cucumber plants on a trellis, and they are pretty tired. We've harvested everything off of them. The plant itself is looking pretty sad, so we're going to get this out of the ground. We'll throw this in the compost because there isn't any signs of disease, it's just stressed out. So we're going to get this out and get the new stuff planted. Looks like we missed two. We do have one delicata squash, so I think we're going to leave this one and see how big this will get. Now all of this has a lot of powdery mildew and it's dying off, so we can get it all out. There's a few that are still on the vine, but most of them aren't doing well, they're already rotting. Now over here, this is where our potatoes and our garlic was, and this is where we have a lot of our fall greens. This is going to be our fall harvest crop that we planted. As soon as we pulled the potatoes, we got these in the ground. So they've been in the ground for about a week, week and a half, and they're just starting to sprout and starting to poke their way through the soil. All right, guys, so we got everything in. Our mustard greens are in. They'll start to germinate in between 5 to 10 days, and then we're going to start seeing those baby greens. And I would guess about 3 weeks or so before we are able to start harvesting them. And at that point, it's going to be about middle of October. So that's plenty of time. We might start to hit some of our frost dates, so we might start getting some colder weather, but because this is a cold tolerant plant, it should be fine. As well as all of our other greens that we have over here. Everything we planted, the kale, some of the cabbage and lettuces, are pretty cold tolerant. They like the cooler weather, so we're going to start to harvest from those well into October. So all of our bare spaces, if we have anything else that we find that we can plant, we might throw some beets in or some radishes that have a quick turnaround, just to kind of fill up the gaps and try to utilize our garden while we still are able to. Now you can see behind me the garden fence and gate are done. That will be an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. And if you have any questions about what we're doing, what we're planning, what I picked out or what I'm planning on picking out, please leave them in the comment section below. Reach out to us on Facebook and Instagram. Follow us there. Like and subscribe here on YouTube. And as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.